What's up, you guys? This is your girl Erica from the Classic Climb blog. Thank you for joining me here on a Saturday in between my sabbatical that I've been currently on. Um, while I'm in the country. Something I really want to address here is the topic about Lamar Odom, but really the topic that Black America just loves to talk about to death, beat it to death like a horse: child support. Child support. Okay. Now, but I also want to bring up the fact that there was a Houston man killed for breaking up a fight. So these are the two topics I'm bringing to you, as I want you to, one, drop your city and state in the chat so I know where you're coming from. And two, I'll share my screen with some topics I think will help illustrate my point here. And so to kick this off, you have to be in the mindset first off to understand what I'm talking about. And there's a book called Disintegration of Black America. I've actually put the coupon code inside the chat description. You can grab the book yourself. But Black America is broken up into 4 parts, which most of America is. But just for this conversation for Black America, what people don't understand is proximity without a plan means nothing. So a lot of these people are like, what is this? I saw somebody video that went viral, like, what does this woman bring to this man's life? And if you realize the fact that he is newly rich and doesn't have the right question format for a woman, and then she doesn't know how to answer in that class. And so class is more important than we want to make it. We are a big American society that goes, hey, I can just get money and now women will have to fall at my feet because I have money. No, that is incorrect. That is incorrect on many levels. And child support is one of those things where everyone wants to have a conversation about it. When the national average is 278, it's not 400. They've updated it. Trust me, lots of COVID people made the numbers go down. And the national average income for Black men is literally like 39,000. For Black women, it's like 33,000. Not big difference. Not big in the averages. The average 76% of all working Americans, which is 150 million working Americans, is 30 grand, 500. So you have this ongoing conversation when common sense says no judge is going to make you pay more than 278, 300, because that's less than 10% of a $3,000 a month paycheck, which really your paycheck's going to be 2,500. No judge is going to make you pay more than 10%. That's the law. You have people trying to convince you that child support is what families need to change the structure of this poor woman who is without of a husband. Getting into it. I know y'all want to throw hate at me. I'm okay with it. The 4 classes, I have to break them up. Instead of one Black America, because for whatever reason, turning the sheet and a lot of people bring it up, y'all think Black people are some monolith that I know what Pookie and Ray Ray and them are doing. I don't, because there's 4 classes and I'm not in that class with them. So again, number 1 is mainstream middle class majority with full ownership stake in American society. Now, this is where I was going to bring on Sub-Zero to point out. Sub-Zero goes, yeah, I can go get a loan. I can go do this. I can go do that. Yes, because you are mainstream middle class. Okay. Then this is the class we see the most in the news. A large abandoned minority with less hope of escaping poverty and dysfunction than any time since Reconstruction crushing in. Then you have a small transcendent elite class with enormous power, wealth, and influence that even white folks have got a little about. And that is literally your Oprahs. That is your Tyler Perry's. That is your people who own cities and states, and people in Maryland, and people in elite groups in Georgia and elite places in Mississippi. These people exist forever. Jack and Jill dances, all that stuff. These people have existed since 1920s. Why? Because those same people own the funeral homes, the doctor offices, the nurses offices. They owned a particular skill and business in a part of time and history where you could not go to anybody else but them. And they've historically been in our society. Every community has them. Okay. So you think Oprah, but I think the thousands of Black people who own all, like the basketball player who owns hundreds of Wendy's and hundreds of gas stations. There's people in our society that you just won't ever bump into. They did a whole Vice video on this, and it was a good piece. And last but not least, 2 newly emergent groups, because eventually they're going to be broke up. But I'll just put it to you this way. The newly emergent group is a mixed race group, which is the rise of the mulatto class. I know nobody likes that conversation. And communities of recent Black immigrants who make us wonder what Black is supposed to even mean. Again, I'll go there. The easiest for us to have this conversation is Nigerians. They come to America, highly educated, come to America to get more education. Kids, they're married, their kids get education. It's even a running kind of joke. There's lots of social media of Nigerian folks out of Houston who, just have running jokes of several different things. They're in a whole different class by themselves. That's why when you talk a lot of crazy, people talk a lot of crazy talk, some of these African young ladies will still be married. Lovey, no matter what you think about how Lovey looks, she is married. Yes, he's American Black. I know somebody's going to bring that up, but I'm just going to put it this way. There are several of those Nigerian groups and friends. They will marry each other, or they will marry somebody from back home, or they will get a wife from somewhere. They won't be single like you as a different type of American. Black American, even so, will be. So let's just get that out there. Okay? I want to make that framework clear. They're very different mindset, different hopes, different dreams, different times. That's why I can speak to a Black man who's 35 and he can say stuff like, I'm just glad to be alive. I'm just going to work. Oh, just got my own apartment. I'm super happy about it. And then I'll talk to a different 35-year-old Black man and he is trying to climb corporate America. He's getting his tech job. He's might be going to grad school. He's doing a whole different thing with a whole different set of views. And he may be from Houston with two parents that are married. Him and that other Black guy, they don't hang out with each other. Some groups they do, but in this space, they would not even be in the same conversation. Now, you can't have 90% of all the women chasing this Black guy and leaving this one behind. But that's the whole point of me saying an abandonment class. He just aspires to be alive and have a job and have an apartment. He is just on the base level of a Maslow hierarchy of needs. He's not even thinking about getting married. I mean, this is why when you get in these arguments online, he's just thinking about, can he feed himself? So if you say, hey, I'm going to take $300 in child support. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like you've just took from his mouth. Do you understand? And this guy over here who's paying $500, $600, it's all part of the game. I got to go get a higher paying job. I got to go move to Austin or move to Seattle and get a $100,000 a year job than this $75,000 a year job that, I need more money because of this. And may have a more cordial co-parenting situation than this guy would. Does that make sense? Now, let's even kick it further to the women. You have a huge middle class set of women. Some of them you may not like, as he calls them, heart of gold, some of these chicks. And so they're going to work, being in spaces, being in environments where they're in the suburbs. They're with people that are married. Common sense say they just want somebody to be married in that space with them and be reasonable. And then you have over here, Bone Queequeg, who stuff is just happening to Bone Queequeg and she's just reacting. I could go very deeply into this character of a person, but I think BJ Igmore calls him Diesel, if I'm not mistaken, something to that effect, Diesel. This woman may have a lot of kids, but this woman may not have a lot of money. She may have issues. She may have mental health issues. She may have a lot of things going on. But she's always in a state of escaping poverty, dysfunction, and it's over here. Like these two women don't want to interact at all. Like they may be cousins. But the desire for this woman to ever speak to this woman is not there. You know why? Because everybody's learned in the community, when you try to help those particular type of folks, Diesel, abandonment class, whatever you want to call them, and you try to speak to them about, hey, you should take your son to this. You should do this. You should get this different job. You should do that. It's an immediate reaction. It is immediate violence. It's immediate cuss you out. It's immediate danger. I had a friend who used to ride the train in DC, and she said she mentally and physically sick to her stomach on how the mothers on the train in the mornings would yell at the children, give them honey buns and soda, and talk to them crazy and yell at them. And you could never say anything because that woman, that child, would probably attack you. So she just took on herself to never, ever ride the public transportation in DC because she mentally could not deal with it. She was sick to her stomach. And she's not the only Black woman I've heard say that, where they just can't even be in the same space because of such things they're seeing and hearing. Now that you got that little intro, you're like, Erica, what does that have to do with Lamar Odom? I know, right? I had to give you that intro because a lot of times people come in a conversation with all this hype and anger, but they've missed the complete part of where this is going. Lamar Odom is not a deadbeat. Lamar Odom is a recovering addict. And Lamar Odom's children are 19 and 18 years old. And I can tell you from experience and from talking to people, I know what happened. This woman is probably used to Lamar Odom with his issues, every once in a while coming into lump sums of money. And in order to not have to go to jail, because that happens with child support court, he would just probably throw a lump sum of money on the old bill. No problem. Just throw a lump sum of money on the old bill. It pay up child support, and she'd get payments, or she'd get lump sums of back pay, and everything would work out just fine. This is very common. If you know anybody who actually works in social work, a lot of folks will have, I'm just going to be honest with you, $100 to $200 child support, mad at the situation, won't pay it for months. They drag them to court, go, hey, we're going to arrest you if you don't pay this. And they just stroke out $1,000 off their debit card, or they stroke out $500 and they go, oh, okay. So they won't go to jail. It has nothing to do with financially they can't afford it. It has to do with the fact they're mad at a court sentence or issuance, and they just won't pay it. Now, I think this is a mixture of those. I think Lamar has always had these issues after basketball where he probably just pays up in lump sums just to kind of stay at court, keep the problems moving. And the problem I have with this is not with what he's doing, because this is common. This is poor men do this, medium class do this, men do this. People don't like the court. Okay. Now, she's complaining he's been violating their 2015 court agreement for the last 6 years. Now, I don't know about you, but if 6 years somebody has not been getting themselves in a financial place to cash you some money, you need to do what? Come up with a new plan. This is why proximity without a plan, because I'm going to tell y'all, if I go Google and show you this woman's pictures with how she poses with these children like she's famous, and she's not, she just has proximity to somebody who was famous, and he's halfway not. It shows you that all she thought she needed as a pretty Hispanic woman is proximity without a plan. I just have to get there. I have the child. Boom. And I'm just going to be speaking out here. I've had several consultation calls where people have Hispanic mothers who just expect at a certain age, or if divorce happens, you will always put some money in their account. You will always put money back on them. You will always help pay their rent. Some of that's cultural, some of it's not. And I just want to show you that, again, here's my problem with this. She gets about $6,000 a month. Okay. And she pays a $9 million life insurance policy. He pays it for her. Which is interesting because, again, I can say a lot of things about the insurance. I think somebody was hoping something might happen to whoever, right? Now, her rent that she's actually behind $78,000. She hasn't paid rent since February 2020. So let's keep it a buck. Is $5,125. If this man pays you $6,000 a month and which is child support, and your rent is $5,125 a month. And again, I get it. It's New York. It's upper, New York can be expensive. That math don't make sense. This man has been struggling with drug abuse for several years. He does have a large NBA pension, all these other things. He did make $40,000 from an upcoming celebrity boxing match. But to depend on, and again, these children are 18 and 19 years old. So let's be very clear. These are adult children. The only way she could be complaining about adult children getting back pay and child support is he's been on a lump sum system where he's been late, throws a lump sum on it, it catches him up. He's late, he throws a lump sum on it. He's probably winding down to the end of that system, right? He's probably winding down to like the last $50,000 or something, right? And because the children are 18 and 19, again, as I say, they're 18 and 19. So she's making this issue of because he's not doing this, I'm going to be evicted with my adult children, with my children. The children are 18 and 19. They can go live somewhere else. And I'm not trying to make light of this. I know y'all think I'm being a jerk right now, but I just want to show you she's seeking $200,000 in immediate relief, right? In her lawsuit, she said her rent's back $78,000. She's saying she owes 50,000 in back rent and he should be paying. Now listen. I get it, chick. I get it. You're mad. He's kind of moved on with life, but not really. They also had a child that died during their time they were together. So she may be suffering from all kind of things, right? But I want you to understand this woman, and let's kind of keep it a buck, okay? This woman is 42 years old. And at some point you really have to go, when do you pick a plan, right? I'm trying to be nice, because proximity without a plan means nothing. To say you're the ex-wife or whatever of somebody, it means nothing if it cannot do what? Make you money, right? You guys can go look at her up. But to me, when I see her being at these events and being in the news, for what? For what? What has she done of stardom that requires this, right? And I know y'all may be thinking, boy, Erica's being harsh today. Because I just want you to understand disintegration of Black America. And I really want y'all to get this book, because once you read it, you go, oh, makes so much sense. Is these people without money would be in an abandonment class arguing back and forth with each other about $500. It's not the amount of money, it's the mindset. Her mindset is, this person has to keep taking care of me. And I didn't believe it existed. I will be very honest with you guys. I thought that's crazy, right? Until I started getting on some of these consulting calls where people would literally be like, oh my God, my child turned 18 and that money went away. And I would think about the part of how much money it was. And I'm like, girl, $500, who cares? But what happens is people start buying homes, they start buying cars, they start inflating the lifestyle to match, even if it's small, this significant amount of money. Now, why is this important? One, it shows you the need of a full-time in-home, live there, invest completely second parent. It just does, right? You need that relationship, second parent there. Number two, unfortunately, is the fact people don't plan for long-term. People get real comfortable in a situation. Prime example, look at what's happening to our country. Less than a year, people are like, I don't want to go back to work. I'll do any and everything. I'll buy every course on this planet, then go back to work. That's what people are telling you right now. That's what they want to do. They'll do any and everything not to go back to work. And this comes from this abandonment culture. Okay? And I want people to really understand that if you in your fully mind, and I'm being nice as I can be, think that you could depend on a drug addict to take care of you, to always be paying out, to always have some type of money from this man, that's a dangerous place to be. That's a dangerous place to be. I just want y'all to understand, like, this woman's beautiful, no doubt. I'm not taking nothing from her, but she is 42 at this point, and she is in Lower Manhattan. She has not acquired some other man in this proximity space. Look at this woman. I'm not saying she's ugly. She's not. I'm just saying she has not found a 50, 60 something year old businessman who would be appreciative of said woman. Because I want y'all to really understand this. This is all about proximity. This woman's only in the news. She's only even relevant because of proximity to what? A former basketball player who has a drug problem. The key here is, if you get in the room, do you know what to do? Do you know how to act? Do you know how to carry on with your life if plan A don't work? Because plan A was getting proximity of rich people. Okay, you're there. What happened? You're in Lower Manhattan. In New York, you could not find any type of businessman, older, half divorced, widowed, retired. Do you see what I'm saying, you guys? I just want you to understand where I'm going with this. Child support won't change this. This is a mentality. Okay? And I just want you to understand that this man has adult children, but yet the newspaper is having him out here like, well, he's a deadbeat. When we saw those children out and about with him in several occasions, right? And so that's my 2 cents on that, right? I just had to get that off my chest. I had to share that. I had to say that because I was just very disappointed in what the news media is trying to shape this argument up. And I loved how his lawyers were like, his adult children, right? There you go. I mean, this is the point of me making this show too, is like all the time and energy and money people spend on fighting child support, they could create something or go get a new job or get a new skill. Right? Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Mr. Old School Rider. No, he's not. And that's what's funny, because you're talking about a guy who isn't even famous anymore. I had to do this one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give you the other part. I mean, unspoken word, that just is part of the game, right? It's part of the game, right? Um, we have distinctions. Nobody wants to use the distinctions because we have close proximity to them, right? This is why I'm going to do the other part of the story, right? Because people are going to be like, Erica, okay, Lamar Odom's wealthy, I don't care about him. Well, let me switch you to this part of this story. And I know y'all won't be able to hear this, so I skipped it forward a little bit. This black man is a military veteran. He's not that old. And he decided to just get in between two women fighting. Now, listen, I just have to say it. Look at the crowd of people that are fighting. These are people who have been hanging out all day in the middle of the week, bonnets on their hair, just hanging outside at this residence. The woman goes on social media, the woman you see in the picture right here on the right with the bonnet on her hair still, and tells them that this man pushed her, which she's going to be charged. I don't know when, but she's going to be charged. She tell him, oh, he pushed me. He did all this. And guess what? She's coming back out there with her cell phone to show that she brought some men folk with her to do what? Deal with him. And in the video, like, again, salute Dennis Sperling. Again, if y'all, it's cracking me up, but Dennis Sperling looked like some of the Lumbee Indian men I run into in North Carolina. All he did is stand between them. He didn't touch either woman, just standing between them. But you see this crowd of people who are, I'm going to say it, the abandonment class. Hair's half done, half finished braids, assaulting, fighting, punching. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be very clear. The type of men folk who say, I don't care as long as she's attractive, get into situations with women like this. Erica, I don't care about what she do for work. I don't care anything else, just big booty and pretty. That's all that matters. And if you say that, that's when I know you are stupid. I'm just going to keep it a buck. This is how I know you're stupid. And this is how I know you really don't value your own life. You don't value your life. You don't value your money. You don't value your time. You don't value your peace of mind, because you can see from this picture, the people in this space have nothing to do all day. There was a camera going down in Milwaukee somewhere, Wisconsin. It was all these black people standing around about 3:00 in the afternoon. Now people are like, Erica, don't you talk about them. Some of them could work at night. Sure, some of them could work at night. But this is the middle of the day in Houston, one of the most productive, financially astute cities. And people are sitting in the middle of the day with bonnets on, sitting on chairs outside of low-income housing. And all this man did was say, hey, just stand in between them. He didn't do anything, didn't touch anybody. And these people came back to this scene, shot this man, and robbed him out of his pockets. See, they're already getting ready to move out the way because they know what's about to happen. Now everybody runs like they didn't know what was happening as they're standing there recording. And the reason I have to talk about this is because when people try to get stupid with me and like, Erica, you know all black women and all black men, you are lying to yourself. You don't got a lot of me. Lie to yourself, convince yourself of that. But that's not everybody in the community. That's called an abandonment class. No one likes using that because they feel like, prime example, listen, no beef, no cause. Kevin Samuels talks about 51% of black men are middle class. Middle class starts at $35,000 a year. Some of the people in that parking lot could make $30,000 a year working at the food restaurant and drive a Charger and over there hanging out like that. So when people try to just give me those distinctions, no. It's not just money. Okay? There's an abandonment class, there's a mainstream middle class, and there is a transcendent class, and there's a mulatto class, and there is that Nigerian class and a business class, business owners. And we hang out in some spaces, Houston's, the Atlantas, the Miamis, but you can clearly see when you tell me, well, I don't care what she does. I don't care if she's educated. I don't care if she's any of these. She just needs to look good, Erica. You're telling me I don't value my life and I have no plans for my own future. Cool. Great, brother. Go on that way. Go on over there. And when you start wanting to cry about child support and how she's acting crazy, nobody cares. You know why they don't care? Because you didn't even care about your own life. Right? When I on the internet, people talk about, well, who wants to get married? It's a fraud. It's a sham. You're telling me I'm coming from a home where there's not two parents and I'm upset about how life is. And so this is how I talk. You are in a lower class. You are not a high class man. Everybody knows it. You're telling everybody what you are through your words. Okay? So I just wanted to show this because I think Dennis Sperling did a great job of showing you what you see on the news a lot of time as abandonment class. And I love how, and I'm just going to say it, white people are like, well, you guys are only 13% of the population, but 50% of the murders. I've already shown you here on this channel multiple times how over 57 cities in the Northeast refuse to even arrest white people who are in public view of the public on heroin, meth. Well, look, our jails are too full. We just can't do it. So your stats for crime are already off because those 57 cities won't even arrest people. And they're 90% white. Then on top of that, you had in the federal prison 50% increase in the past 5 years of white women going to federal prison over drug possession and pills and you name it. See, the news doesn't talk about that. But we can see that clearly out. That's why when people say, well, girl, all these men is marrying these white women. What type of white women? They're not marrying rich white women. They're not marrying the best of the best. It doesn't even matter. Because wherever you are in class in Black America, that is where you will elevate out into Hispanic America, into foreign passport America, whatever you want to call it. Class matters. That's why when they say you never see a rich, upper class Black person killed by the police, because you haven't. Proximity to areas, proximity to certain neighborhoods matters. And I know people don't like that, but I had to talk about it. So child support won't solve that. This tax child credit that's coming out giving people $300, the mom who was going to be hanging outside out there anyways, which I could show y'all another video, but it was worse. It was women attacking this one woman. She gets in her car and hits their car. And then the young Black lady goes and opens the door and pulls a baby out of a car seat out of that car. That baby probably needed to go straight to the hospital. But nobody there is even concerned. She's like, hey, go take the baby to the house. That's an abandonment class. That's not all Black America. That's why class is important in the conversation. And also when young men go to the military, if you don't have a plan for your young son to go to the military and he comes back out and he's got him a Dodge Charger and he's got a GI Bill, but yet he's hanging out over there, that doesn't help. He didn't change classes. I'm just telling y'all. Yep. I mean, it just is. You really do. I mean, this is the thing. Say what you will about Kobe Bryant's wife, but she's smart enough to figure out that Nike and all these companies have been getting over for years. Kobe Bryant, some of his last interviews was on CNBC and Fox Business. I actually watched them and they were like, he's like, I want to be remembered for my business mind, my business acumen, the steps I take next in business. But all y'all talk about is basketball, basketball, basketball. I'm like, this man was going to be a billionaire in probably less than 5 years with the investment moves he was making. But again, yes, Bell Rose, February 22. I'm getting out of here. I'll be in Alaska in June. I'll be in a couple other places. I have my last couple days of stuff. Listen, Lamar's high risk, period. And what's funny is he was just with the woman and people talked bad about the woman, but she made $1 million after being around him. She even acknowledges the fact that he still had a little bit of that TMC news drag. When they started putting her name up in the newspapers and online as being a fitness coach dating him, she was able to benefit her business and keep it moving. See, people don't want to talk about that because they're like, oh, she's just a gold digger. No, that's a different class of woman. Yeah, she went to jail and stuff, but she was smart enough to go, this man is unstable. He's got a drug problem. But I'm going to take this news and this publicity and I'm going to take it, the proximity of it, and go get famous and important myself. Another prime example, Amber Rose. That she was pretty. beautiful, whatever men want to call her. And she gets all this proximity. But even in her next move to marry Wiz Khalifa, she couldn't sit down enough to enjoy that and think about that and ride that out. So now she's with a even lower class young man, right? So again, it's not there's no such thing as high value dysfunction. See, he's just a wealthy crackhead. Hunter Biden is a wealthy crackhead. See, people love to put high value terms on people because they have money. No, it's more than that. It's more than that. We all know a truck driver or a barbershop owner who in a small town makes a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? We all know that person. Okay. Chin Best, that's the whole thing. The kids had full ride scholarships in college. Only the son's going to college. He doesn't have to pay child support for the child going to college. And see, again, Light Bright Galaxy, this is something I want to bring up, and I'm probably going to teach it in a video. I'll record it and put it inside of the Rise of 20% and in the YouTube class, where it's called long tail revenue. You have several people. He has a pension. Lamar Odom has a pension now from the NBA. And he also has lots of endorsements and investments that create these long tail revenue. And see, a lot of people can survive if they're getting 10 to 40 grand every month. Okay. As long as they don't live too crazy, right? They get a nice house in California, not too famous, right? Nice rented Beverly Hills, somewhere in the mansion of the hills, right? Somewhere nice, not too high. And then just live off that 10 to 40K that comes in every month. That's a lot of famous people's story. If you go right now on infomercials, you can actually buy certain celebrities for your infomercial. Trust me, I've already tried. Like, you can pay somebody 20 grand and you be like, oh my God, they gonna do this infomercial for 20 grand? That's how hurt some of these people be. Okay. Delva Rose, she better apply for something. Listen, the first time Lamar had a drug, whatever you call them thing, overdose, she should have been making a plan. Like, oh, he might go any day now. He might just kick the bucket tomorrow. What am I to do? Right? Exactly. There you go. She really did. Enhanced utility. Unfortunately, that's the truth on some of this. Oh, goodness. Oh, no, it jumped up. Hold on. Let me get it back where it was. Oh, Lord. Hold on a second. That's the whole point. She's in the news for being famous. That's my whole thing. Proximity means nothing when you don't have a plan. I mean, it is what it is. I hate to say it. For somebody she did, but she still could be very beautiful for a 50, 60, 70-year-old man who owns a business in the New York area. She still could be very good. That's right. Pamela Banks. This is what people don't understand is the courts are more than ever giving custody to dads who request it. Men are not requesting it. Men are requesting 50-50 custody. They don't want to be fully responsible for the kids and take full custody. And numbers back this up. This isn't just Erica making this up. This isn't just a fact that I know two women who are regional in the health services. I'll just say it that way. In Texas, they're being trained to ask the father, does he want full custody? Now that they're investigating this case, they're doing all these things, and men are not requesting it. Listen. Oh. Listen, come on now. You guys are from New York. You tell them. She said in New York, every businessman on every corner. Something has to happen. Thank you for that. I hear you. Exactly. I mean, listen, somebody. But that's the thing. When you are on the bad side of the news, they can run your name down like that. Listen. Okay, so Pamela Banks did a great conversation piece. She said men 45 to 50 don't want all that drama. They want peace. Baby daddy drama is for young people. I'm gonna tell you, Aaron Clary does a great video, and I'll put it inside the community tab where he says there is a wall for men. And I think he said something like 42 to 43. He was like, if you're 43 years old, you don't want to deal with some 29-year-old who's like, ooh, party all the time. Let's party. Because you're tired, you're older. That just isn't where you are. So that's kind of like, do I date 25 to 29? Or do I date a woman who's slightly older, mid 30s, but she might be divorced, have kids, have issues, have baggage? Oh, right. And I know everybody's trying to sell you on this fantasy that these people date so much younger. But I actually have on staff 20 to 24-year-olds who are like, oh, this guy asked me out. And I'm like, what's wrong? He's 28. It's kind of older. And I'm like, it's just 4 years. But again, I know people think that they're always going to want me. I'm the old sugar daddy. Like, no, that's not realistic. Oh, here you go with that crypto. Jay Proctor, she moved to LA allegedly. She appeared on Basketball Wives. She also complained about no college fund for the kids. In addition, she never worked. Thank you so much. See, I don't know gossip, but there you go. And trust me, the show paid her some money. And the point of being on those shows is to get more money via sponsorships or something. She didn't even have common sense for that. Well, hello. I'm saying she's not even properly managing herself. If you haven't paid the rent in New York since February 2020, let it go. I would have packed all my stuff and moved it out. That's all. I'd have packed it and moved it on out. Pray for all the people because it don't make no sense. This the thing. That's what I'm saying. I mean, people, what's up? You lumpy? What's good? I'm from North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Somebody put Hollister up here. They got some Indian folk near there too. We've got like 9 tribes. Well, actually 10 tribes in North Carolina. So, yeah, I mean, the woman needs to be charged. Light Bright says she work in the city, but she ain't got no bonnet on. I'm just, to me, if you standing around in the middle of the day like that, trust me. If you work at night, you ain't hanging out like that. Thank you. You taking as long as you can to go to sleep. NC grad, 30K a year. This is national IRS numbers. 76% of 150 million working Americans make $30,500 a year. That's it. What's up, boss man? Welcome to the channel. We talk about business, getting your money straight, all kind of stuff. Well, engineering cannabis is because there's a lot of pushback from the other side people don't see or don't report on. It's kind of like people saying, man, Black Americans are messy, but they don't distinguish. So everybody make sure you hit like on the street. This is what they're looking at. Everybody wants a big booty Betty at all costs. Doesn't matter. She could be beautiful, but then she's breaking windows in your car. She's destroying your house. She's doing all this stuff over there. Come on now. He said, I'm not trying to be nowhere near y'all. Neighborhood get bashed 30%. I'm moving. Well, it depends on where you at. It just depends. Hello, Charm City buyers. You guys will see them in the future. But this was all I had to say. I just want you guys to be really keen on this stuff. And I put the link to the book Disintegration of Black America in there because I think it's very important for you guys to check out. It really broke a lot of things open for me. So you guys are cracking me up in here. I love the comments though. You guys are hilarious. They don't mingle, but you do have places where they do. I mean, Baltimore, you have Atlanta, you have Miami, Florida, you have a lot of these places. They do mingle. Xanatos Clutch put, the Black classes don't mingle with each other like that. In the DMV, the abandoned are in Southeast and PG County. The mainstream and immigrants are in Montgomery County, and the mulattoes are in Northern Virginia. I mean, that Xanatos Clutch is right. I mean, for the most part, they don't, but there are places where they do like this. I remember one time me and my mother were in Maryland. I can't remember exactly where in Maryland, but we were leaving Andaroon, Maryland, near Fort Meade, and we went to go to this woman's house who had an amazing house, but we somehow got lost in the directions. And I remember we stopped at the gas station, and this man was like, why are y'all over here? And he was Black, and he was a Somalian, and he looking at us like, why are we over here? This very nice gas station. So finally, we got ourselves turned back around because the GPS messed up and got over to this woman's house, and it was amazing. And all her neighbors were black, but they trust me, you're not gonna be in some of these spaces. They're just not gonna be there. Classism and racism is real, even in the non-black community. The Kennedys will never view the Kardashian or Jenners as high value, no matter how many millions they're worth. Thank you. This is perfect. Perfect example. Listen, you can have Arnold Schwarzenegger married a Kennedy, right? But he's still Arnold, so he made a baby with the maid. There's some level of that where he is new rich and came into an old rich blue dog millionaire family, old money, and he just just didn't fit. That's all. Again, the Kardashians made all that money. Their kids didn't marry a bunch of wealthy California kids. They married football players and musicians. Listen, I've met a lot of people like that. That's the problem, Bad A Trucker and Babe. She said the bonnet has become a symbol of obedience, sloth, and lack of ambition. I see it all over the country, this mindset. The only place I can understand you having a bonnet is you went to get to the hair store to get the rest of the products you need to finish your hair. Or you going to bed. It's like 8 o'clock at night and you going to bed. When I see people in the middle of the day with a bonnet, I'm like, for why? This doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah. And Bennett Bartell tell a crackhead is a crackhead. People trying to convince you that you can't depend on crackheads. Oh my God, I didn't know that. She said they got wigs that fit over bonnets. I learn something new every day. New money, old money. Yep, Jack and Jill Blacks. I'm telling you, they got that here in Houston. I thought I was broke making $70K a year in Los Angeles. Thanks for making me feel better. I'm telling you, if only Americans make $30K a year, that means most Americans are faking it, throwing money at the club. Jeremy B, if you actually talk to bouncers at the club, they go, most guys come on Friday from their payday, like when they got paid, throw some money and they gone after a little bit. 65,000? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Most people want to be these old sugar daddies. They don't even got the money to do it. I mean, I'm just telling you, Cappy did a good video, and I'm gonna post it. And I think it was cracking me up. Um, well, and if, here's the thing. And I always tell people, um, I come from a family where we have 20 boys, cousins, and we have 6 uncles. I mean, military. We just didn't have a lot of tolerance for that. 50-50 means he doesn't have to pay support. That's basically what they want to do. That's basically all it is. They just don't want to pay child support, but they don't want to have full custody. Well, I mean, it depends. You could pay for Cameo. You could pay for a lot of stuff and get shout outs. Thank you. I mean, again, everybody, long tail income. Long tail income. It's a great concept. I'm definitely gonna I'm putting it inside the class so people can see it. So okay, I'm trying to catch up the last of y'all comments. Here we go. It happens that way sometimes. This is true. And this is where you get a lot of oh God, yes, Lainey. Wearing a bonnet to a teacher parents conference. I mean, just no, no. Oh God, not 1 in 4. That's really high. That's sad. Not a beanie. Oh my God. Light bright. My best advice for young people is to get some money in your pocket, get above that 30K a year, so then you can start making some decisions as far as traveling, as far as going places, as far as doing things. I'll have another video probably pre-recorded later this week talking about money and you know, if you have to start all over from scratch, you know, you can mobile notary, you can do a lot of things to get yourself financially there. But anyway, there's like 350 of y'all here. Please hit the like button on your way out and leave me some good comments. But I just saw this and I saw the thing in Houston and it really broke my heart because, you know, the young man went away to the military for 4 years. He was a military vet. He was a father. He was 26 years old and he just did the right thing by just standing in between two women. And this is what you get. You get people who are desperate and hungry fighting. So that's what you get. So again, make sure you're never in places where people don't value their life. That's all I'm gonna say on that. But anyways, you guys, this is your girl Erica, Classic Climb Blog. Later.